Hi friends, welcome back to the Scapegoat Club. My name's Jess, and in this video I'm going to talk about some myths around what narcissistic parents really look like. Stay tuned. Hi folks, so if you're new to the channel, hi, welcome. This is a space where I do talk a lot about difficult families, narcissistic parents, siblings, toxic families in general, and what we do when we find out and how do we manage our lives. In this video, I want to talk about the myths that we can have around what a narcissistic parent might look like. And I think this is important if you are kind of just getting into that phase of feeling like, oh, there's really something going wrong in this relationship with my parents. I can't really figure out what it is and what's going on. I keep hearing about narcissism. It's thrown around in the world so much. What is it and what would it look like in my parents? It's really hard when we're talking about parents or people in our immediate family that we grew up with and we've known since we were this big, because it's our normal, and it's very difficult to get a kind of an objective opinion, because they're just like, that's just my mom, that's just my dad, that's just my gran, that's just my sister, that's just whoever, right? But I guess if you're watching this video, you are thinking about narcissism, and you might have seen some videos on it. You might be kind of getting to grips with what is narcissism, what is narcissistic personality disorder, where, what, how, what does it look like? And also, if you are in that relationship, then you're probably stressed out about it, maybe not seeing it straight, maybe your mental health, maybe your physical health. There could be other things going on. There could be pressure from all sorts of different people. It's a really difficult situation to be in. I totally get it. So what I thought I'd put in this video is what narcissistic parents don't have to look like. They might do, but they don't have to look this way. So if you're thinking, wow, my parents aren't narcissists because they don't drive a flashy car, which is number one on my list, then that doesn't mean that they might not qualify in this kind of narcissistic, difficult parental role. So, what are my narcissistic parental myths? Number one, surprise, surprise, oh my God, you guys have got it. They don't have to drive flashy cars. They don't have to live in big, fancy mansions. They might not be super glamorous. They might not have all of the latest toys and gadgets. They're not necessarily the people who are most generous at the school fundraising, what are they called? School fundraising committee. Narcissistic parents don't necessarily have a lot of money. It's not related to money. There's a type of narcissist that is a grandiose narcissist that does like to have material things and to be flashy. That is one type of narcissist and not necessarily what you're dealing with. Second myth around narcissistic parents is that they're those pushy helicopter parents, that they're always there, they're always advocating their kid has to win, they're yelling at the ref from the sidelines, they're ringing up the teachers at the end of the day saying, how dare you treat my kid like this, they need special attention. They might do that, but they also might not. A narcissistic parent can actually be extremely neglectful. And this is where abuse/neglect is a blurry line. But narcissistic neglect, I think, is a really good thing to be aware of in narcissistic parents. It means that they don't see us for who we are. They don't support us in developing our own needs. They don't see us as separate beings. Narcissists see other people as extensions of themselves. They need other people to complete themselves because they're incomplete. So a narcissistic parent will use a child to try to fill in those gaps and to make themselves feel less. And so a narcissistic parent might use a child to try and fill in the gaps where they think they're missing, might want that child to achieve something that they didn't, or to look a certain way, or whatever it is. But narcissistic parents can also basically ignore their children, ignore their needs, their wants, and that natural basic requirement for love and for belonging and for being appreciated and just seen as an individual person. So a third myth I think we can have, or misconception we can have about narcissistic parents, is that they will be happy when their child achieves something, achieves the thing potentially that the narcissistic parent has been pushing for. Maybe they reach that level in dance school, maybe they make the school team in track, maybe they get brilliant grades, they're in med school, they have a house, they have the beautiful partner, they have all the kids, they have all those things, but the narcissistic parent is not going to be happy with the child when that happens. They might brag about their child to their friends, but they're not going to be happy, because then they get jealous. That's the problem with the narcissistic parent, is that when someone actually does well, they actually feel more insecure about themselves. So that sets off more problems within the narcissist. And the last myth or misconception I think that we can have around what narcissistic parents would look like is that they would be easy to spot. You can tell they're going to be yelling at their kids when they don't do well. Like I said, they're those parents on the sideline and that are like, go Jimmy, and then Jimmy doesn't go or whatever, or doesn't score the goal, doesn't cross the finish line first, and then they're berating their kids on the sideline for not doing well enough. Yeah, a narcissistic parent might do that, but they might not. So what that parent might do is, if they're going to berate that kid, if they're going to be really mad at that kid, they're going to yell at them, they're going to tell them that they're worthless and they're useless, that parent is going to wait until they go home, and they're going to do it behind closed doors, unless they're really, really in a rage, unless they're very unable to regulate and they're really out of control. The parent is going to do the punishing at home because they do not want to bring any kind of awareness, any kind of attention to the fact that their lives aren't perfect, that their kids aren't perfect, that everything isn't perfect, because they're all about presentation, a fake frontage. If it looks good on the outside, that's okay. That's what the narcissist wants. So they will wait and keep all that other stuff behind closed doors. They might, even if they're covert narcissists, convince the child that the problem isn't the parent. They'll convince the child that the child is the problem. Well, if you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have to punish you. If you hadn't said that, I wouldn't feel this way and I wouldn't be angry with you right now. If you hadn't done X, Y, Z, then I wouldn't be feeling this way, therefore I don't have to do this to you. It's always the child's fault. And that is another level of kind of hiding the narcissism from the world. They can't even take responsibility for their own feelings and thoughts and actions around their child. They have to project it all onto the child. So coming back to that fourth myth, narcissistic parents are not necessarily easy to spot at all. They might not be seen by parents, they might not be seen by other family members, and they might not even be recognized by the people who they are abusing. It's hard. So if you're watching this video and you're like, well, how the hell do I know if my parents are narcissistic? I'm not going to keep going because this video will go on forever. So what I would do is look at their behaviors. What is your parent or this person you're thinking about? What are they doing? What does love look like from them? Is it conditional? Is it based on what they want and what they need? Do they see you for who you are? Do they support you for being individual? Are you able to have open and honest conversations with them? Or do you feel that you have to walk on eggshells around them and really censor what you say? And do they deny things that have happened? If you go to them and say, look, I'm really struggling with this, I want to talk about this problem that I think we're having in this relationship, what's their response? Do they appreciate that you came to them? Are you able to have an open, honest conversation and then work through it? Are they able to look at themselves and take responsibility from their side of things? Or is it your fault? Is it always something that you've done? Don't talk to them about it right now. How could you talk to them about it like this? It's just really bad timing. Or you're always so selfish. You're always so mean. Why is it always about you? If they try and twist it and move away, then you might be dealing with a narcissistic person. And I'm not talking about someone who has narcissistic personality disorder and would necessarily be diagnosed by a psychiatrist. I'm talking about someone that has highly narcissistic traits. There are a lot of resources out there detailing what narcissists look like, so I'm going to stop wittering right now, but I hope that this video helps in terms of don't discount the idea that your parent is a narcissist just because you're not seeing some of these behaviors. I really hope that helps. If you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe to see more, write a comment below. We've got a bit of a community going and we're supporting each other because this is a tricky thing to navigate and we do need all the support we can get. If you're able to make a donation, fantastic, and I will see you very soon. Take good care, my friends. Bye for now.